My name's Catherine Foley. I'm a student support coordinator in the School of Arts, so I speak to people and try and help them when they're having difficulties with things on their course or in general. I have lived in Oxford and other places in the UK, and I'm originally from Manchester. They were my favourite shoes that I found in this shoe shop, which was a really amazing shoe shop in Brighton that I went to with my boyfriend a couple of years ago, and it's a vegan and vegetarian shoe shop and they sell ethically made shoes, so I wanted to get something from there to help them with their business, and I really liked these shoes. They're called Adbuster Black Spots, and they are like, you know, the Converse trainers with the star, with the one star. They're like an independent version of those, not made in a sweatshop. So it's kind of, it means that you can wear a shoe that looks like your favourite shoe, but you know that it hasn't been made by Nike or whoever. So that's why I wanted to buy them. I think I must have bought them about 5 years ago, so they're at the end of their life now. They look a bit tatty and they've got mud all over them, which I'm going to clean off. In terms of how far away I've been with them, like travelling or something, maybe Greece. A couple of years ago. I mean, I had about 4 years worth of special experience in them because they were the sort of shoes that were so comfortable that you wear them all the time. So they were shoes that I went on dates with my boyfriend in, and on walks in the countryside, just everything. I think the main reason that they mean something to me is that we had such a good day when I bought them, and that was a day in Brighton where we just spent time together walking around in the lanes and going to shops that we both liked and sitting on the beach. It was just a really lovely day. Firstly, I think I tie my shoes in a weird way. So my brother and my dad always laugh at me when I tie my laces because I think I still tie them in the way that you're taught when you're little. You know, where you, yeah. So quite often I think about that. I think about the fact that if someone was watching, they would be laughing at me tying my shoelaces. Stuff I look forward to every day is seeing people, spending time with people. I look forward to my job. I really love my job. So when I put my shoes on in the morning, that's one of the things I think about, that I look forward to going to work, and I'm glad that I have a job. I don't think I think about difficulties. Sometimes I might be a bit tired. I'm sometimes a bit clumsy, so part of the putting your shoes on is also making sure that your feet are in properly so you're not going to trip over. You know, I have thought about that quite a bit in the past because I had a phase where I wasn't very well and I would like, kind of trip over my feet and things. So just making sure that my laces aren't sticking out, that might sometimes be a thing. I think the atmosphere is quite special in Oxford. There's a sense of calm that I feel about it now that I didn't feel when I was a student here, which I like. I like looking at all of the old buildings, and I think there's a feeling of history when you walk through Oxford because you almost can sense that people have been having these experiences for centuries. The other thing I really like about Oxford is how diverse it is. So how many different kinds of people that you can meet just wandering around Cowley Road. I really like that. I like the fact that you have all of these different restaurants along there, and in Oxford like Polish and Lebanese and different types of food you can try with people. And I think it's really nice to remember that Oxford voted to remain in the EU in the last referendum. It makes me feel better about working here. I imagine myself, this is quite literal, but I imagine myself in my dad's shoes, because he has some problems with his feet now, so I'm living with my dad at the moment, so that I can save money for a deposit for a flat, which is nearly there, which is great, but he has problems with his feet, so he has some shoes that he's had to cut bits out of, so that he can fit his feet inside the shoes. So occasionally I imagine what it is like for him just walking, because I think sometimes he has difficulties with that. In terms of putting yourself in somebody else's position, I think there's a bit of me that tries to do that whenever anyone comes in for help, to not necessarily to try and occupy the same space as them, but just to try and understand how they're feeling and where they're coming from. Because people might have the same problem, but they'll have really different responses to it depending on what their background is and what sort of person they are. Not everyone is the same, and so I think it helps if you can try and put yourself in that person's position or in their mindset a little bit when you're talking to them. In an ideal world, I guess you would have shoes, clothes, you would have food, you would have enough food. I think lots of people even in this country don't have enough food at the moment because they can't afford it. I think it would be nice if everyone had a roof over their head, and if everyone had the right to education, and if everyone could experience family and friends and love. I don't know if they're necessary for survival, but I feel like they might be. I think I've thought about it more recently because of things like Brexit and the fact that we might not be able to move as freely into other countries, and other people might not be able to come as freely to this country. One of the students said to me recently that she feels safer in England because it's an island, so people can't just come across, and that made me feel really sad because it suggests that we're isolating ourselves from other people from Europe, and I don't like to think of us as a nation, or I don't want to think about the area that I grew up in kind of distancing itself from other people. I would prefer it if we were welcoming other people in. So that made me feel sad. Yeah. I think I try and go through life with kindness towards other people. So just trying to make a difference, even if it's only a small difference. And trying to be happy and stay optimistic. I think if people remembered that I tried to help other people, that would be a good thing. Or, as a good daughter or sister or friend. I guess I would like you to understand that this is really just relevant for the moment maybe, but that not all English people are trying to cut themselves off from the rest of the world, that there are people who want to try and welcome other communities and nationalities, and just try to help that we're not a closed nation. I'd like to carry on doing the same sort of things that I'm doing. Maybe get some more training to try and help more people, so training in counselling services, and I'm trying to help with a homeless project in Banbury, which is near where I live, because services are being cut in this country for people who don't have anywhere to stay, especially people who are single, so there is still more help for people who are in families, but not if you're on your own, which seems even more alarming somehow. So I think I would like to carry on being able to do those things. I'd like to still be able to work. Sometimes my health hasn't been so good. I worry that I might not be able to work if it is not good in the future. And I'd like to keep spending time with my friends and family. That would be my wish.